Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to I Care About You, the podcast where we really talk about who we are as people, where we want to go, what do we want to let go of, what do we want to pick up, and just fulfilling our purpose and destiny in a way that is authentic and matters to us. I'm your host, Juliana J., and today is off script. I'm talking about something that I think a lot of us are struggling with in this moment, and that is really money. Financial security, financial worries, really figuring out how to bring abundance into our lives so that we can have more of a balance and more happiness in life and can worry a little bit less about where the money is coming from. Will we have enough? What if something horrible happens? What if we get laid off? What if we need new tires? All these things. And even the struggles of, am I going to make rent? Am I going to be able to feed my kids? I don't have enough money. What's going to happen? Things are being ripped out from under me, and I don't know what to do, and I feel very insecure. And that insecurity can really infect everything else about you, because having financial security allows you to just feel more secure in your world. And when you don't feel secure, it is easy to let negative beliefs come into your mind, like I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, nobody wants me, I'm not worthy of money, this is my lot in life, everything's against me, the world's against me, people are against me. All types of talk happens inside your brain about your own failings because you can't make it work. And these failings can follow you throughout your life, even if at some point you feel like you have gained some financial security or some general security in your life. It's come at a cost, perhaps, or you just think it's going to reverse itself. It was a lucky shot. And once somebody figures out that you are actually got this job and you're doing this work or you received this money, they're going to take it away from you because it was a mistake. So financial security is huge in how we feel about ourselves, how we feel emotionally and mentally. And we might not think about that. We might not make that connection, right? In that your perceived worth is tied up in these other conventional thoughts, like you need to have a certain job title, you need to make a certain amount of money, you need to have a certain amount of prestige, know certain people, be in certain types of work, and just kind of living up to what society expects. And that's really hard, especially since no matter where you are, you feel like you're not living up. Even the people, the CEOs, the people over a just incredible workforce that's making it happen, even they feel like they're insecure. I think a lot of this is a capitalistic mindset that we've grown up in this society that wants us to continue to achieve, continue to show up and work for free, give more, work hard, play hard, all these weird stereotypes that we've created around work culture that don't serve us at all, that are creating all this burnout, that are creating all this uncertainty, that are making people fight each other for jobs, basically, undermine each other. And it's become a real place of just hardship and a place where you don't feel safe and you're scared. You go to work and you're afraid of a bad performance review. You're afraid of not getting a raise that you desperately need. You're afraid of being laid off. You're afraid of being fired. You're afraid that someone's not going to like you personally, and that's going to affect where you go in the company. Then there's the whole issue of what the company's doing that you might not feel is ethical or right or are in line with your morals or your values. And when that happens, what do you do? Because you're dependent on the position for the money, the paycheck, maybe the prestige, maybe that's the only job you've ever had. You don't know how to get another job. The thought of getting a job is daunting. Maybe you have this job, even though others that hold the same job have a higher education than you do, and you feel if you go somewhere else, they're not going to value you as much as someone who has more education than you do, or God, it can really just be this host of stuff that keeps you in the work world that is really challenging and not affirming to you at all because of just the structure of the society in general and beliefs that we've decided we should have around work. And I bring all of this up because it's been a real struggle of mine for a couple of years now, ever since I did leave a job that I worked the corporate ladder to get to. I did all the things. I worked really hard. I was working way over my 40-hour work week. I was jumping through all these hoops. I was really making everything happen, being there for everything. I didn't have boundaries and eventually got really burned out. Then something that was really against my ethics happened, and that was the final straw. I couldn't blend my personal beliefs with what the direction the company had taken in that moment, and that was the sign from the universe that it was time to leave, right? And since then, I've really struggled with that, letting go of that identity, letting go of that prestigious title in my field. I mean, my field was administration. So when you get up to that executive director kind of place, it's kind of, I'm not going to get much higher than that. And I don't want to go into that C suite space. So, and I worked in nonprofits and education. Yeah, it's been really hard to redefine myself. And I think that is part of the puzzle to redefining yourself in a job or as what you're going to do for a vocation or money because of that financial insecurity that we're all struggling with. You have to get another job while you're trying to build something because of this financial insecurity. And then that role is also challenging in its own right. And I've been really struggling with the fact that I tied up a lot of my identity in that job title and the money and unraveling that from myself. At the same time, I was in a relationship where scarcity model, which I did a podcast on, you should go back and check it out if you're wondering. I'll link it below. Let me make a note. It was really weird because I was in the scarcity model, yet I was doing this other thing, and those two things did not mesh. And the scarcity model had to do with just feeling like you could be there could be cutbacks at any moment. You could a big catastrophe could happen, and then what are you going to do? And all these things that I really shouldn't have let come into my life and be part of my life and how it was working and my relationship with money. But I did. And that's, if you are in that realm, you should really consider and work on changing that mindset, that relationship to money, that it's a scarcity, because that's not a manifesting belief. You're not creating the energy that will bring it to you. And you're creating self talk that will talk you out of abundance you could have if you had a different mindset towards money. So it's been hard to redefine myself, right? And that's been a journey. And I feel like I've really come to a place with it where I can feel that I'm ready to put that page down and go to the next place. I'm ready to let go of my beliefs around what I need to do for success in the workplace. That's different from my goals, right? I can have certain goals that I need to make a certain amount of money. I want to have a certain work life balance. I want to do meaningful work. All these types of goals I can have. But my relationship to what it is needs to shift into something that's more affirming and positive for me, which means putting more emphasis on the work that I'm doing and what I want to put out in the world and who I am as a person and work life balance and living wages, and not so much on a title or something I can say at parties like, I do this, I work 80 hours a week, and not putting my pride there in these things that don't really matter to me when I do a lot of work on that. It doesn't really matter to me that title and how much, and being able to brag about being in the office for endless hours and all these things. I don't subscribe to that, but I bought into that model because that's the model, right? That's the box I need to fit into. And I had to do a lot of work to get out of that box. But once I did that, I could really start thinking about what kind of work do I want to do in the world? And I changed my mindset to from profession or job title or all these corporate work related thing. And I shifted all the goals into what work do I want to do? What what do I want to leave when I go? What good work can I do? What would fulfill me? What would make me happy? How much money do I need to make? And how can I blend those two things together and work towards that and allow myself to have abundance, right? A friend of mine just sold her house and she's really been doing super well in so many things. And she retired and she's going to buy another house. And she's really struggling with, although she has the money, is she worthy of a nice house? Or should she just buy some little tiny house that needs a lot of work and has not been updated? Or should she buy this beautiful home that is gorgeous and updated and beautiful with a beautiful garden? And she doesn't feel worthy of having that, even though she can. She worked really hard her entire life. She's done a lot of work on herself. She's really lived a life that you would never believe that she is financially secure. And now she feels like she's a very humble, beautiful person, but she feels like she doesn't deserve a beautiful house. And that got me thinking that's exactly how I feel, right? I feel like I can't have all the things. Maybe I don't deserve money because is money uh, an evil? Is money something I'm not supposed to desire? I'm just supposed to be happy if it comes. And all that stuff around money that I think is also a social construct that allows people to pay other folks less for work that they should be paying a livable wage for. But you buy into it and you don't realize it, just like that work hard, play hard thing. Who wants that? Let's be real. Who wants to work hard and play hard? Yeah, that might be great at one point in your life, but it's not that type of play hard is not a lifelong endeavor, right? You're going to switch and change and priorities will become different over time. And that really got me thinking about my goals for what I consider something that helps the money flow that I'm going to do in life, right? And that's one of the things why I started the podcast. Recently, I've decided, even though I've been a writer for quite a long time now, that I'm going to define myself as a writer. I'm going to call myself a writer. I never did that because I never felt my work was good enough, right? Which is, I can just trace that back to the corporate world in that getting performance reviews and things like that, and just that my work was never good enough. Even if I got a gleaming review and everything was wonderful, I still felt my work wasn't good enough because I knew that was coming around the bend and I need to be extra because I got a good performance review last year. So how am I going to top it? And yeah, that has really been a struggle with me. And then I decided I would start writing letters to money. And here is what I want to talk about today. Write letters to money. I just did it. My journal is over there, but I just spent the morning writing to money. I thank it for being there in my life, for coming to me when I needed it. And I asked it to co-create what I want in life with me. In essence, it's becoming some kind of I don't want to call it a guide, but it's definitely something that's walking along the journey with you, right? Maybe it's your confidant, your friend who's on the journey together. And it's not a relationship with money that is, you never come to me, you don't do what I need, you're scarce, you're you come and go, you're unstable, like all the things you wouldn't want in a friend, you wouldn't want somebody who's never there for you, who You can't count on all these definitions I had of money. I can't count on you. I don't know when you're coming. I don't know when you're leaving. I don't know when I'll need you. I always have to save. You're not making my life better. You're making it worse. I don't know how to do investments and all these things. And you're forcing me to do these things I don't want to do. And so much more. We have so much negative communication around money, and that doesn't manifest it. I could go into manifesting in so many ways, and I've done podcasts on manifesting as well. And there's so much out there you can know about it. But really, if your energy towards money is that it's never going to be there for you when you need it, it's never going to be there for you when you need it, because that's the reality that you're creating. So shifting your relationship to money is really important. And not that you be frivolous or you do whatever, but really embracing money as this friend who's on the journey with you and who can be relied on and you can trust. And how are you going to talk to that person? How are you going to talk to money if money was always flowing to you, if money was reliable, if you could count on it, if it was there for you? What would your relationship to money be, and how would you talk to it? And how would you feel about it? Some of us won't even look at our bank account because we are so conditioned to be in this lack mentality. But what if you looked at your bank account all the time? That's what you would do if you had money, right? It's about shifting all that energy and your relationship to money that really is a game changer. It allows you to let go of all of this lack mentality and negative beliefs about money, and to invite it into your life in abundance and to feel like you are supported by money. You are supported. Because when I think about it, all the times in my life, whenever I needed to get another position, I was able to do that. Whenever I needed to make more money, that happened for me. I was really active in making those things happen. And this job market in this moment today is really tough. So it takes effort. You have to put effort into your relationship with money, just like you do with every other relationship that you have. Change your mindset about money, that it's a relationship. It's a relationship to it. And how do you treat the people that you value, that bring value to your life, that help you out, that support you, that are there for you? All of those things, bring that into your relationship with money. It's going to take a little conditioning for yourself. You're going to have these thoughts still like, I don't have it. You're not coming to me. And when you feel that in your mind, just stop and go, I don't think this way anymore. Money supports me. Money is there for me. And shift your language into exactly how you would feel about a best friend who's always there for you, always supporting you, and put energy into it. Put energy into that relationship just like you would that good friend relationship. So the takeaways are: change your mindset towards money. It's a good friend. Talk to it like that. Change your beliefs about money, change your relationship with money, and you can do this through journaling, through talking about the things you want. What are the things you want to change with money? What would you do if money flowed to you? How would you feel about it? What if you could trust money? How would that feel? What would that look like? What would your life look like? What would your mindset look like? And start writing letters to money, letters of gratitude, letters of co creating, letters of dreams and desires. I made a list. First, I wrote a letter to money talking about where we should go together and thanking them for being on this journey with me. And then I made a map of the journey that we're going to take together and what we're going to do and what we're going to achieve, our goals. And then once you have these types of things together, start taking action. That's action just to realize that you need to change your relationship to money. You need to change your dialogue around money. You need to change how you think about money, your relationship with money. That's action. I need to do that. Now, what are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? Are you going to journal about it, write about it, talk about it, meditate about it, all of it? Are you going to get into a group of folks who are working on the same types of things? Are you going to bring money into your spiritual practice of some kind? Are you going to talk to it in a positive way. And when you recognize that you aren't doing that, stop. Tell yourself you don't talk to money that way anymore and shift the dialogue. Are you going to rework what you do for a living and what your work on this world actually is? What is your work here? Is it your vocation or is it something else? For a long time, my work on this planet was to be the best parent I could possibly be. That's not something you normally get paid for. So I had a job that provided me with money, but my work was that. And my relationship to the money should have been, money, I need you so that I can raise these kids the best way that I can. How are we going to work together in this goal? Instead, I just used it to create another lack mentality. Oh, I can't buy my kid this totally amazing, incredibly expensive car. I can't throw them the most incredible Sweet 16 party they've ever seen in their lifetime. And with better than all their friends, or whatever dumb thing was being sold to me at the time as a parent. And so money was a little bit of an enemy, right? But it shouldn't be that way. Your relationship with money needs to be that it's a good friend. So how are you going to cultivate that? What are you going to do? And have you been successful in doing that before? If so, please let me know. You can leave a comment if you're watching or listening somewhere where you can. You can go to my website. There's a link in the description so that you can reach out to me personally. You can follow me on any of the social media platforms that I'm on and ask me questions there, or leave your what is your relationship to money? And is it working for you? And what would you like your relationship to be? And what are your financial goals? And what would bring you financial stability and success? Let us know, because this is a community that I care about you. And we all need to help each other out and be there for one another when we can. And your expertise might help me and someone else. And even if it's, oh my gosh, I just don't know what to do, I'm in crisis, there's someone else out there that feels the same. And even in that feeling of not being alone, you create healing by letting someone know they're not alone. So this is the community here. If you have something to say, please do. I also would like to remind you to share this podcast if you know somebody else who might be able to benefit from it. I would really, really appreciate that. Please like and subscribe, add I Care About You to your playlist. Any of those things, I would much, much appreciate it. And if you are so inclined, please order my book, Reasons to Live. You can get it anywhere at any outlet. It is filled with exercises to help you work through dark times and to come out resilient. And the second half of the book is about helping others do the same. I would really appreciate it. And if you do have the book, thank you so much for buying it. I really appreciate you. If you could leave a review where you bought it, that would be really wonderful. It helps get the book in front of other people who need it, whose search engines might not pull it up. And I would greatly appreciate that. Thank you all so much for supporting this podcast and being here and showing up for yourself and working on yourselves and just having the bravery to think outside the box and to think about change in your own life. I so appreciate that. And remember, I'm doing weekly journaling prompts now. You can see those on my social media, in my YouTube postings, on any of the social media that I have, on Substack, everywhere. They come out every week. It's a little, shall I say, a glimpse into my next book, which is Journaling Through Uncertainty and Change. And I'll keep you posted on when that's coming out. I think that's going to be great. So thank you all so much for being here, for supporting me, for supporting this work, and for supporting yourself and showing up for yourself. Know that I love you, and I support you, and I care about you. But take good care, my friends.